New York is over. It's dead. It's lost its charm. It's lost its grunge. I said what I said. Argue with your mama. But let's go get some wine and talk about it. Hmm. Okay. This is a full glass of wine. And we're going to have a conversation. Let's just sit down and have a talk. Shall we? It's been a long day. So, I just want to start this by saying I'm not going to sit here and tell you how horrible a city that New York is. New York City has a lot of great things about it. There's so much culture. You can find any food you want to find in this city. Any food in the world, you'll be able to find it for sure. You can also find all kinds of music, a lot of free events, a lot of wonderful parks. Not a lot of wonderful parks, but there are a few wonderful parks around. There are lots of amazing people here. You will meet everyone from all walks of life, quirky, weird people to very straight-laced people, flexible people, people who are rigid, people who are conservatives, not as many conservatives, not that many, but you'll also find mostly a lot of progressive and liberal people here. So you can find anything you want here. That doesn't even cover the fact that the people here are the best when it comes to helping people out. For example, after 9/11, everybody was helping everybody out. It was amazing. During the pandemic, a lot of people were buying other people food, delivering it to them. They were doing a lot of different things for people here. Um, Most recently, actually, I think 2 or 3 days ago, a taxi, and I'll put the clip in here, jumped the curb and hit two women on the streets of Manhattan, I think it was. And a bunch of people, random people in New York, some locals, some transplants, all came together to help these women out. And it was an amazing thing to see. I love my New York people. We don't play about New Yorkers. We take care of each other in that respect. But let's not pretend that New York has some crazy things going on. And really, it's not really about New York. This list of reasons why I'm leaving New York is more about me and where I am in my life. So let's get to it. The first reason that New York is dead to me and I will be leaving is the winter. Now, New York can't really control this. It's the winter. The Northeast is frigid. This specific winter was particularly bad as far as snowfall is concerned. We experienced 45 inches of snow, I think, in just less than 3 weeks. That's a lot for New York City. We haven't had these kind of snowstorms in quite a while. And that is very true, but it can still happen. If it happened every winter, I wouldn't even be surprised. But it's not something that does happen really. We generally get pretty mild snowfall. For a few years, we had almost no snowfall at all. But it's not even the snow itself, it's the way the city looks and feels after a major snowstorm. Like it'll be beautiful after a snowfall for 2 days maybe max. One day definitely, maybe two. But after that, it starts to look dirty, gray and black. People were not picking up after their dogs and there was dog poop everywhere. There is mounds of snow to cross the street, and it was impossible to cross a lot of the times because People were shoveling into the street, but they weren't clearing out the crosswalks. So that was that. And then the plow trucks came and plowed in the sidewalk if it was the crosswalk, if it was shoveled out. So then it would freeze overnight, and then all you had was a slippery mess. If it was melting, it was slushy, and you had to step over into water. My feet were wet often. It was just a mess. It was gross. It was inconvenient. And that's not even talking about parking. I don't have a car at the moment, but parking was an issue for a lot of people because there was so much snow, they had no place to put it. Even when we had the second snowstorm, they cleared out Manhattan really easily, and I think they cleared out a lot of downtown Brooklyn. But if you went up into the neighborhoods, they didn't come over here. They cleared that street once, maybe twice. Otherwise, we didn't see them. They did not come shovel our walkways. They did not come shovel our bus stops over here. Actually, that's not true. They did shovel the bus stops and some of the crosswalks, but most of them were not done. A lot of building owners, these big apartment buildings, they didn't even shovel their sidewalks for weeks. Now, some of them never shoveled. So, they need to start giving out some tickets for that. But anyway, it was just a mess. It was unenjoyable. And I have to say that I particularly hate the cold. I get really frigid. I get cold in my bones. And I have to come home and take a shower, a boiling hot shower, just to warm up. So I really dislike it. The one great thing about the snow, which I loved, like I said, it was pretty. I lived a few blocks, maybe 4 or 5 blocks from a park, and they have a hill there, and the kids will be sledding and having a good time. And it's wonderful to see all the neighborhood come to the park and have a good time after a snowstorm. That is one of the best things about it. But otherwise, New York City in the snow is not lovely. It's not wonderful. It's not at all. The second reason I'm leaving New York City is because of the dirt. This city is not a clean city. It is dirty in so many different ways. Like, I'm going to go into the dog poop again. Even when it's not snowing, people do not pick up after their dogs. They walk their dogs, they let their dogs poop everywhere, and they don't pick up after it. And so you have to really watch where you're walking when you're strutting down the street in your fancy heels, because at any given time there could be a big pile of Rottweiler poop, and if you step in it, not only are you going to be slipping, you're going to smell, you're going to have to... It's gross. It's just really disgusting. And then the garbage. We have so many people here, and we have so much garbage that when you put it out overnight, it just lines the street. It smells up the street, particularly in summertime. And don't even talk about the rats that come out. And these rats, New York City rats are not just your regular field rat. They are on some form of creatine or something. They're on protein packs, these rats. These rats are massive. They're the size of cats, sometimes the size of small raccoons. I swear, our New York City cats, and they are not shy. They can be really assertive. If they see you have pizza in your hand and you walking down the street, I've literally seen them crawl up somebody and snatch their pizza. So please, these rats are gross. So the garbage being left out is really attracting them. And it's gross, and it smells, and it's unseemly, and it's just gross. And I've been to 45 states, and I've been to, dozens of cities. And I have to tell you that I've been to cities that were sizable, that were clean, some of them spotless. You could eat off the floor in a couple of cities. I'm not suggesting you do that, and I'm not saying I did that. I'm just saying you could do that. But it's really kind of like disturbing with the amount of trash, the amount of filth. People go to the parks, let's say 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend. They'll have all these big parties, and they leave the trash everywhere. And even if it's not a holiday, just a random nice day on a Saturday, they'll leave their trash everywhere. Thankfully, the Parks Department's good about cleaning it up, but they don't always get to it right away. And then you'll go to the park the next day, and it's just full of garbage. Like, who does that to your own neighborhood? I don't understand that. And that's the thing I don't understand about neighborhoods, is that you live in a place and you allow it to be filthy. You throw garbage on the ground. I see cars drive by and throw trash out their windows. People live here. Why would you want to live in a place that's covered in filth? After the snow melted a few days ago, there's so much. That next block next to mine, the block over, was littered in garbage, like just trash everywhere. And I went, today is what, Wednesday? I did pass by on Monday, and it was cleaned finally. The people on that cleaned it, but it's disgusting. Like, it's gross. So there's one that's just another thing that I don't like about this city. Next thing I'm going to talk about is noise. Even though noise is not as much of a problem as the other things I'm mentioning here today. But noise can be a problem, particularly in the warmer months. People tend to have parties, they want to enjoy themselves, and that's great. However, with the combination of police sirens, ambulance sirens, fire department sirens, people screaming in the streets for whatever reason, they're fighting and everything happening. The warmer months especially are rather noisy. People want to have parties and things, and that's great. But when it's 12 o'clock and I'm trying to get sleep because I have to work the next day, y'all need to turn it down. I mean, I don't understand how people think they can just blast music till 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning and nobody's going to say anything. People say things, at least they do here. So I just don't get it. Also, people can be really loud in their apartments. I'm not talking regular living sounds. I'm talking about people have kids and those kids will be screaming, running around all day. Like, they never have nap time. They don't go to school. What are you people doing? That's not been my issue. I've been to a few people's apartments where that was a situation. I went to an old friend's apartment, and his landlord lived upstairs, and she was living in, there was abuse going on. Literally, the last time he lived there, when I was there, it was the one thing that made him move out, was that him and his landlord were fighting, physically fighting. You could hear them beating the crap out of each other. And I'm like, looking at him like, and he's like, and I'm like, you're not going to go say something to check on her? He's like, no, that ain't my problem. I'm like, oh, but he surely did move out. So things like that. Now, that, of course, that can happen anywhere, and that's understandable. But it seems to happen a lot more here. And of course, it's the size of the city. The city has 8 million people. You're going to have quite a few jerks when you live in one of some of these places. So, yeah, I expect it, but I really want it less. Actually, right now, where I live, at least in my block, is usually pretty quiet. It's the block next down the street, the next one. They will run their music so loud, I will hear it in my apartment, and it's the whole different block over. Another thing that's not too much of an issue, but I don't like it, is crowds. I'm not a fan of being in crowds. I don't like feeling constricted in my movement, and crowds definitely do that. Now, crowds are only a problem if you go to touristy areas, or if you go to places that are popular and you want, let's say a fancy restaurant you want to go into that's popular, crowds will be a problem there. Places like the park, Brooklyn Bridge Park, can get really crowded, and all you want to do is stroll to the park and look at the city. But so does all the other, like, 2 million other people want to do that. They're all down there. They'll be on the promenade. It'll be super crowded, super loud and obnoxious. And it's like, can I get some space and can we get some quiet, a little, like, quiet, but can we get a little less rowdiness? But that comes with, then you have a lot of people. And I think part of my issue is that New York City is just too big for me now. It's too many people here. And all of the things many of the things I'm talking about have to do with the number of people here. So yeah, crowds are not my thing. I don't go to parades anymore. I don't go to concerts. I don't go to a lot of places where a lot of people are going to be in a confined space, because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I like free movement, and you can't really do that a lot of the times. And the next thing is more of the vibe. New York City used to be very grungy. It used to be dark, and I don't mean light. I'm not regarding light. I'm talking about, it used to be just grungy. It's hard for me to explain. We had the crack epidemic in the 80s. 90s was grunge music. We had a lot of unique stores. We had a lot of unique places to go hang out and clubs and things like that. We don't have any of that anymore. New York City is very much like large mall. It's very Gap. You know, the independent stores that used to be funky. We don't have as many of them anymore. Some of that is because people have gotten older and they've closed their businesses. I used to go, I got my last two purses I bought, two of the last ones I bought from a tannery in the village that closed last year, last October, I think, which made me sad. They closed their business after a few decades being there. You know, record stores. There are a few now that I am finding because I got a record player, but there used to be a lot of places where you could go there, you could put a record on and listen to it, you know, see if you liked it. There used to be tons of just unique places you can go to. The village was amazing for that. Little quirky places, unique things. We don't have that anymore. Everything in the village is all, you know, Chipotle, Starbucks, and I don't even know what else, but it's very corporate now. New York City is very corporate now, when it used to be unique, used to be whimsical. You never knew what you were going to find. And right now, it's not like that as much anymore. You can still find it in pockets, but it's really not like that anymore. And that really makes me sad. That makes me the saddest because there's not much in New York that you can't find elsewhere, with the exception of food. So there's a lot of food in New York you can't find elsewhere. But there's not a lot as far as stores and culture that you can't find in New York. Outside of New York, sorry. I found a lot of things outside of New York that I didn't expect to find. I found one of the best Mexican restaurants I've ever eaten at in Southern Illinois, in a city of 5,000. I was like, are you hiding from ICE? Because why are you here in this little place that has a Walmart and a Hobby Lobby, and that was it? So, you know, you can find a lot outside of New York, believe it or not. The last reason I want to get out of New York is I just want change. I want change. I have been here my whole life. You're talking 51 years I've been in a city, with the exception of 2 years. 1 year I lived in Illinois. I lived in Evanston, Chicago, Illinois. And the other year I lived in upstate New York, in Nowhere Town. And it was great to not be in New York, but I still came back here, and I've been back here for the past, I don't know, 29 years since I lived outside of New York. And I have a house, I've had a house in Long Island, but I'm still here, still New York. I want to get away from the cold weather. I want to be in a different vibe. I want to be in a place that's chill. One thing about New York is very much go, go, go. New York, you don't need to be in New York unless you want to be out all the time. You want to have everything delivered to you. You want to go to 800 museums. You want to just hustle, 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 go, go, go. If that's not your vibe, there's no reason for you to be here. And that's not my vibe anymore. I like to go out and have a good time, but I'm not going to clubs. I'm not going to bars per se. I like to go to restaurants. I love to eat, obviously, but I don't need to be in a place that's awake 24/7. I really don't. Because I'm not awake 24/7. I'm in bed by 11 o'clock or 12 at these, 1 o'clock these days, but I've been going to bed late. But I don't need to be in a city that never sleeps. I don't. I want to be in a place where it's a bit more chill. I want to be able to hang out on the beach all year round if I want, and not freeze to death. Might not be beach weather exactly in the winter, but it will be at least nicer because, SoCal, you can still hang out on the beach in the wintertime. I've done it. So, yeah, I just want change. I want to slow down a little bit. I want to go to more parks. I want to be near mountains and deserts and the ocean. I want to have fruit trees growing. I want to go and see hummingbirds flying through my backyard. I want to sit on a balcony, eat my breakfast or drink my tea in the morning, and just listen to the birds and just, I don't know. I want something else. I want a different life. I don't want to be in a place where it's just 5 months out of the year is just too cold to really enjoy outside. In the summer, it can be sometimes too hot to go outside. And the rest of the time, I'm trying to avoid the homeless people on the train from stabbing me or pushing me onto the tracks, or watching people fight and steal out in the CVS. I don't want to be on all that anymore. I'm done with it. I mean, think about it. Why do we have to stay in the same place we always at? Just because we have family there, so what? You guys never leave your family? My family is technically kind of all over the East Coast, from Florida to Connecticut, all along the East Coast. But I don't need to stay here. I don't need to stay in New York City. My daughter will be graduating college in 2029. She doesn't have to stay in New York City either. I don't know. I guess I'm just not attached to places. I have roots here, but I'm not a tree. I can pick up myself and transplant myself somewhere else, So that's really it. I really want change. I want to change in vibe. I want to change in venue. I want to change in location. I want to change in weather patterns. I want to change in people. I want to change in my apartment. What I get here, there are places I could spend the exact same money and get so much more for my bucks. I was looking at some place down south, in a city down south, for the $1,650 I could get, well, actually for more money, for $2,000, I could get 2 bedrooms with a pool, an apartment building had a pool, gym, and on-site parking for I think it was $2,250. You can't get that here in New York. Not for 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, with a pool, a gym, on-site pool, and on-site parking for $2,250. Ain't no way. I'm amazed. I got a studio for $1,650. But it's missing some things. So I just want a different life. I just want a different life. I'm just done. And it will be sad in the way when I leave, because my daughter is here and she's going to stay here. She's not coming with me. She's grown. But it doesn't mean I can't come back. There's no reason to not leave. You can come back at any time. It's called visiting. And if it really sucks and you need to move back, then you move back. But take a chance to do something else, move somewhere. The only connection I have to this city is my daughter at this point. There's no reason other than her for me to stay. So why should I? She lives with her dad. She's in college. I can come back to New York once a month if I want to. Guys, why stay? Why stay in a place that you don't love? I don't love New York City anymore. I'm over it. And that's why I'm leaving. So those are the reasons New York City is dead to me and that I will be leaving. I'm not leaving soon, but I will be leaving definitely. Let me know in the comments below if you live in a place that you really want to get the heck out of. Where do you want to go? Many of you are probably going to say, hey, I want to go to New York City. Fine, cool, as long as you're prepared. That's cool. But yeah, in the comments below, let me know if you live in a place you really want to get out of. And where do you want to go? Three, two, one. So those are the reasons that New York City is dead to me and why I want to leave this city. If you feel the same way about whatever city you live in, let me know in the comment box below. If you like this video and you want to see more, I'm here for it. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.